He walked into the room and burst into tears. And in that moment, everything changed. My daughter had just said something to me in Hindi, our language, our heartbeat, the thread that ties us to a life we left behind. And my stepson, Ben, heard it. He didn't understand a word, but what he did understand, what he felt, was exclusion and grief and loneliness because his mother had died. And we were still speaking in a language she never knew. That's how this all began. Not with cruelty, not with intention, but with sorrow. And the aching silence between two children who lost parents in very different ways. My name is Maya, and this is the story of how I almost had to choose between protecting my daughter's identity and preserving my new family. Years ago, I left everything behind. I was widowed young. My daughter Anya was only 5 when her father passed away. In India, that can be a lonely sentence for a woman. The whispers started immediately. Matchmakers, older men. One, in his 60s, with greasy hands and greedy eyes, was suggested as a suitable husband. People said things like, "How will a woman raise a child alone?" I said, "Watch me." I packed our lives into suitcases and came to the States. I came here to protect my daughter from being erased by tradition, to give her choices, a future, and a voice that no one could silence. It wasn't easy, but it was ours. A year after we arrived, I met someone, a man who was kind. He had a gentle smile and a 5-year-old son named Ben. We went slowly. Anya and Ben were like magnets, not always aligned, but always drawn to one another. We became a family, married, blended, hopeful. Ben lived with us part-time, splitting custody with his mother, and our home felt like it worked. Anya would slip into Hindi when she was excited, or tired, or overwhelmed. I'd remind her gently. She'd switch back to English. It wasn't a problem. It was just part of who she was. Ben never seemed to mind until the world cracked open. A few months ago, Ben's mother passed away. It was sudden. It was devastating. And it shattered the boy we knew. He moved in with us full-time. His room was already here, but this time, he brought his grief with him. We got him into therapy right away. My husband and I tried to keep our home steady, gentle, predictable, a place where healing could begin. But grief is not predictable. And one night, it came to dinner. Anya and I were in the kitchen cooking. She was animated, telling me about something that happened at school. And just like always, when the emotion took over, she lapsed into Hindi. Her voice sparkled with passion. And then, I noticed Ben standing there. His face crumpled. Tears welled up. "I don't understand what you're saying," he whispered. "I feel left out." I dropped everything and wrapped my arms around him. Anya, watching, started crying too. "I didn't mean to make you feel bad," she said through tears. "I'm sorry." My heart broke. For both of them. In the days that followed, Anya made a conscious decision. English only around Ben. Even when she was upset. Even when it was hard. I never asked her to. She did it because she's kind. Because she understood. I watched her struggle to find the right English words when Hindi would have flowed like water. But she tried. She really tried. Then came the moment that cracked this wide open. It was late afternoon. Anya was overwhelmed with schoolwork. Her math assignment had confused her, and frustration bubbled up fast. We were alone in the living room. Ben and my husband were in the kitchen nearby, not part of the conversation. Without thinking, Anya blurted out her irritation to me in Hindi. It was a slip, an honest, human slip, and it wasn't even directed at anyone but me. But later that night, my husband sat me down. His expression was stern. "I think we need to start punishing Anya," he said. I blinked. "What?" "For when she speaks Hindi," he continued, "just temporarily, until Ben starts feeling better." I felt my entire body freeze. This was the moment I never wanted to face. The moment where I had to choose between peace and principle, between love and identity. I'd never used the words before, never needed to, but they came out before I could stop them. She is my daughter, not yours, and I will not punish her for being Indian. Whether he liked it or not, Hindi was her first language. It was how she learned to say, "I love you." It was how her father spoke to her. It was how she mourned him. And now, in a twist of irony so cruel it made my throat tighten, she was being asked to erase it, to help someone else survive their own grief. I told him, "She's already bending, already trying, already giving up so much, and you want me to make her feel ashamed for what comes naturally? You want me to teach her that speaking the language of her heart is a punishable offense?" He didn't have an answer. But the silence between us said enough. We were on opposite sides of this. He believed we were protecting Ben. I believed we were sacrificing Anya. For the first time in our marriage, I didn't feel like we were a team. This wasn't a debate about screen time or chores. This was about who my daughter is allowed to be, what parts of herself she's allowed to express in her own home. And as much as I love my stepson, and I do, I cannot and will not teach one child to shrink just to soothe the sorrow of another. Because that isn't healing. That's hiding. And the damage would last longer than any temporary discomfort Ben might feel from not understanding a few words. My husband says I'm making this too big, that I'm being dramatic, that I'm choosing culture over compassion. But I see it differently. I see a little girl who's already been forced to grow up too fast. I see a widow who's done everything to make a new life, a better life, and still keep the soul of the old one intact. I see a family that's walking a tightrope, and I see the line that cannot be crossed. So now we're here. I sleep next to a man who believes punishing my daughter might be the best way forward, and I still don't know how to forgive him for even suggesting it. Ben is still in therapy. Anya is still trying, and I am still wondering. So, am I the asshole? There are moments in life when compromise feels like surrender, when the line between empathy and erasure blurs so easily, you barely realize it's gone. What do we teach our children when we ask them to erase part of themselves to make others more comfortable? What do we teach our families about belonging, about love, when language becomes the enemy? This story isn't about good guys and bad guys. It's about pain. It's about identity. And it's about two kids. One mourning a mother. One trying to hold on to the pieces of a father she barely remembers. There is no easy answer here, but there is a lesson. Empathy cannot demand erasure. Compassion should never require silence. And love, real love, doesn't come with conditions on how you speak, feel, or grieve. So let's open this up to you. Have you ever been told to hide a part of who you are to make someone else feel more at ease? Would you call this mother protective or overreacting? And where is the line between making someone feel included and making someone else feel invisible? Tell us in the comments. This is AITA Story Vault, Thanks for listening.